All right, more back testing on a Sunday here. Gonna go through the next month here we have. I believe this is episode 4, could be episode 5 of backtesting. So this is ours here. Okay, starting with the month of November. Now the month of November is going to be a little bit weird because you have Thanksgiving there, so the month is going to be cut a little bit short. But I'm planning on getting the month of November done here. So we'll go month by month per episode. So November is what we're doing today. So let's get into it. On the weekly, it's very obvious we're bullish. We are at all-time highs, so that's something to be aware of. There's not much to reach for. Okay, that doesn't mean that I'm not still bullish. It just means that I'm open to an inversion trade if there's a setup for it. But right now you can see we've already taken out the previous weekly high, so there's nothing to come for. Like I said, previous daily high, well, that was the previous weekly high because today is Monday. Previous daily high is that Friday close. But yeah, bullish on both higher time frames there. That I look for my bias on the daily and the weekly. So do we have a previous session high we could take? No. Okay, we are it's tough to say if this is really a trading range because we didn't sweep liquidity here. Let's see on the hourly. There's definitely something to be said about this here. Like I could see a potential setup forming where we sweep, go higher. What do we got as far as news? Just PMI. Wednesday, nothing crazy. Oh, never mind. FOMC Wednesday. Friday, NFP. Okay, so this is going to be a bit of a what's the word for it? It's a heavy news week, so I got to be disciplined. I'm not going to be trading past Wednesday morning. I might not even trade Wednesday morning because FOMC is on that day. We'll see. Okay, so here we go. Sweeping liquidity, we are, again, higher time frame bias is bullish. Sweeping liquidity inside higher time frame PD array. Right, fair value gap on both the 4-hour and the 1-hour. Wait until 9:30. Boom. We have news at 10. Just something to be aware of. But I am at this point going down to the lower time frame and seeing if we can get some displacement higher. Because I'm not looking for a sell at this point. Go to the 1-hour and see. Okay, so we're still respecting that. Still being respected. Okay. Actually, let me draw this real quick. Okay. Go back to the 1 minute. Okay, break a structure there, but no displacement. Okay. So displacement, inversion, fair value gap. I just need to see this break structure, which we didn't get. I'm going to continue lower. If we get displacement at this stage, I have to see. So that 4-hour fair value gap didn't get respected. I don't love that. 1 hour is being respected though, fair enough. I'd probably be a bit more conservative with this. If we do end up finding a trade, it's going to be that to the equilibrium of this trading range here. Right, this is the dealing range. Finally though, break a structure with some displacement, but you see no fair value gap formed. Still nothing. Let's just look at the 2 minute, 3 minute, 4 minute, 5 minute, nothing. All right. And I don't like how it's chopping its way up either, so not ideal. This is where it becomes a little bit challenging, okay? I would say this is an A+ setup if it weren't for the fact that we chopped our way up here. I think if I go for something conservative, like that equilibrium, equilibrium of the fair value gap here, there's something to be said about that. I just don't like the way we chopped up here. We're past the inversion fair value gap as well. Yeah, I'll take this. I think this is a decent trade here. Okay, so yeah. Again, only reason this wasn't an A+ setup is because of how we chopped our way up here. If this had occurred earlier, like here, but gave us displacement, right, left us a fair value gap, which just didn't. I just want to check. It didn't leave us. Yeah, but no breakage structure there is the problem. Yeah, so not fair enough. See how it continues. So there's that. So if we were a bit more patient, right, you can get a re-entry here. I'm fairly confident about this one here. Right, you get your re-entry here, because this is some real displacement there, break a structure. We now swept the choppy lows that we left before that I was a bit, I wasn't too happy with. Is this, okay. There's nothing wrong with a re-entry if, you know, your setup is there and looks good. It's here, this is partial. Okay, just drove through it. So, nice. One winner, one loser. Obviously, the winner trumps the loser because the risk reward was higher than a 1-to-1. You can see it here. Alright, made about $1,000. I'm okay with taking that first one. Like I said, definitely wasn't an A+ setup. The second one was, because the second one really showed some displacement. We swept all that we needed to sweep as far as the choppiness. Those lows that were created. Higher lows, right? Swept. Those are the ones I was afraid of, and that's why we got taken out. And then, yeah, so nice. Solid day overall. Next day open. Look at that. Huh? Look at all those highs there. All right. Let's go to the daily again. So again, right, we can only trade until up until today. Today's the last trade of the week because we have FOMC and NFP this week. Can't trade on FOMC day, right? Normally, if it was just NFP, I could trade up until Wednesday morning. But because FOMC is on Wednesday, I can't trade Wednesday either. So it's just Monday, Tuesday this week. So, yeah. So as far as the liquidity target, we do now have, or liquidity target, higher time frame target. We do have previous daily high now there. Let me just check this again quickly. All right. Yeah. So really bullish. Okay, I mean, these have to get taken at the end of the day. Like, that's very, very intriguing to me, these highs here. Don't want to push anything. If it's not there, I'm not going to take it, especially because I can only trade 2 days this week. I'm up already on the week. so I'm not going to push anything. I like to end the week up if I can. But if something presents itself again, I will be willing to take it. It'd be a sweep here back into the fair value gap, maybe into the inversion fair value gap here would catch my eye, because we already tapped into the hourly fair value gap here. Yeah, so that's what I would need to see most likely. Let's look at the 15-minute. Yeah, just give me that. If it doesn't, it could just easily come up to these highs without doing that. But we shall see. Alright. Was there news? Because that looks like a news candle, but we didn't have news today. But that definitely looks like a news candle. That's crazy. But, alright, fair enough. So it targeted what I was looking for, it to target, and more. Right. We're just very bullish at this stage, this point in time. But yeah, I mean, after this gets taken, that's pretty much that was my target for the day, and it happened 15 minutes into the day or less, so, it happened 8 minutes into the day, 8 minutes into the trading day, and without sweeping any liquidity, so, I mean, of course you can argue that, but, like, I'm not taking it without, you know, a valid sweep there, so, fair enough. It's a very big print there, holy, okay. Well, you can see how the rest of the day pans out here, but we're pretty much done, right? Because I don't have a target. We didn't sweep anything, so I can't take anything from here, even if we did have a target. So, yeah. All right. Next day open. So, again, like I said, this is... We'll give our predictions. I'm not going to take a trade. But we'll give our predictions on these days for the rest of the week here. Thursday really is a no trade day. Wednesday I'm down to trade after FOMC, or at least not trade, but kind of find a setup after FOMC, and as well as NFP. Thursday's pretty much off limits, so I'll just skip past Thursday because it usually doesn't give us solid price action a day before NFP, but it's fine to trade after news. If you want to, so obviously still bullish, still very bullish. I don't really love how we're chopping our way up here though. That could be a sign that we're gonna retrace here a bit. I'm not gonna predict a retracement, but that's just something that I'm noticing. Just draw this. Trading range on the weekly, that's how far we'd have to dip to end up back in equilibrium into a discount. Okay, let's go to the 4 hour here. Nothing's being traded in the morning. Well, no. I would stay off the charts in the morning here on an FOMC. No higher time frame PD array to tap into, which is kind of annoying because it's very choppy on both the hourly and the 4 hour. Go to next session, chop it around before FOMC. FOMC is at 2, but it's a 2-part news event, right? Because you have FOMC numbers come out at 2, and then you have Powell speak at 2:30. So that's how it operates, right? I think it'll... Yeah, press conference, actual numbers. So, chopped around very, very much before FOMC, which is normal, right? You'll see that happen. So that's the FOMC candle. Okay, these are data highs. I don't like these lows though, to be honest with you. So that's my issue there. I'm thinking these lows get taken and then maybe we push back higher after the press conference. Fair enough. Okay, I'm not going to say always because I don't have a crazy big Rolodex of these news events, right? But I noticed it on both news events this past week in live price action, and I took trades based off of it, and I'm noticing it here again. This is the data high, meaning this is the high that the FOMC candle made at 2 p.m. Okay, and then it started to sink. It's a magnet. It's typically a magnet, man. Price will come back towards it. So you technically have a setup here. It would be right. I just don't like how the lows were kept here, but that's fine. It would be a sweep, right? And then obviously we target the data highs. It came back into a 5-minute fair value gap. Let's see what the risk to reward would look like underneath the low. Target the data highs. Boom. Yeah, not bad. Alright, let's go to the next day, and then next day because I'm not trading that Thursday. Alright, so FOM or NFP. By the way, we are just look at this chart. Holy shit. Look at that weekly candle. That is insane. Okay. The daily. And like your average trader would be looking at this and you'd be like, oh, we're so overbought. Like we have to dip. I'm gonna be looking for sells, dude. Why are we trying to predict the future? That's not your job. You play the probability game. Probabilities tell you that you're not going to be able to find the exact moment we retrace or reverse. Okay, probabilities tell you you were best off to stick with whatever direction we are trending, and that is bullish right now. If you get caught up in a retracement, you lose a trade. It's part of the game. But I'm not going to sit here and try to predict a retracement with my crystal ball, okay, when I could be taking trades to the upside here. So literally no liquidity left to the upside that we could come for, no target. Which means that I am open to an inverse trade here, a sell here. It means that I am open to that. Targeting maybe here. Be a longer term target. I don't know if I'd actually, something price could reach for, but I don't know if I'd actually take it to there if it did present itself. Again, remember this is NFP. And it's been a crazy week, so we might just chop around after this, but I wouldn't say this is an A+ setup, so I'm not going to take it, but I do think there's a possibility we do trend lower here. Break a structure into, I'm not going to take this trade, but I'll put this here just to see. That wouldn't be a bad place to just take profit there. Alright, I mean, at this point, the trade would have been taken off for some partials. And honestly, partials would have been taken here, break even. Would have already been set most likely, but I mean, it's just chopping around, right? So that's crazy, though. It would have actually gone all the way down, but that is some crazy price action that we saw. Fair enough. I don't know. I just didn't feel like that was an A+ setup, and you know, we would have made some money off of it. But I don't know. I try to stay disciplined, and also, like I said, I'm not trading on news days during this backtesting session here. So, I plan on backtesting just solely news days, FOMC, CPI, and NFP on one of these accounts here, and just seeing, you know, how price moves, how, you know, I think I have a pretty fairly good idea right now, but just make one, because I typically avoid trading those days when I'm backtesting, but if I can make one specifically to trade those days and just see, like, Now, I would never trade before news. That's gambling. Trading after news, you see kind of what price is telling a story at that point. We can target data highs like I was talking about, or something else similar. So something I'm going to backtest soon, but yeah. So, all right, let's see what we got here. And what did I say? Longer term target, not something I would have taken the trade to, right? You saw what I took it to, if I was going to get into it. And then look at that bounce off of there, right? So, all right, so we do have a previous weekly high and a previous daily high to reach for. They're both the same, right? Because it's a new week. Bit of a slower news week, I would assume, because of last week was a heavy news week. Okay, so like I said, we have that right there for a target. I really love what I'm seeing right now. I feel like the move has already kind of been made on like a higher time frame, right? Like we got our sweep, we traded into a PD array here. We could easily see us coming for this at this point for a swing. Like if I wanted to swing trade this, but like when you go to the lower time frames for an intraday trade, it just doesn't look healthy. I guess what I'll say is if we sweep and we trade back into here, there's a possibility I enter into a trade. But it just doesn't look all that healthy, so. I don't know how I feel about this sweep, like without us trading into that PD array there. Okay, now we did. I always ask myself, is this an A+ setup? Is this something I'm willing to put some money on? The answer is my bias is bullish, so that we're in the direction of my bias. All right, you got to make a mini checklist in your head. So I am trading in the direction of my bias. Good. Check number one. Now the next question is, are we trading inside of a PD array? Yes. Okay. We are. A higher time frame PD array right here. 1 hour fair value gap. Cool. Okay. Check number two. Next question. Are we sweeping liquidity? Yes, we are. Check number two, or check number three. Are we, well, we don't know if we're going to displace yet. We're still waiting on that. That would be check number four. Now, then experience, a little bit of experience comes in, and like, you know, when you look at enough price action, you kind of get a grasp of what looks better than, and you can't really describe it too well. Like, if I can go all the way back to it, when was it? Like this, for instance, this looked healthy to me. When I go to here, it just, you know, it doesn't look as healthy, right? That's all. It's a bit more choppy. But I am willing to see this through if we get displacement here, because fuck. Let's see what I would target. Not a huge fan of how we didn't leave a nice fair value gap there. It's, well, let's see the dealing range here for the 5 minute. Yeah, so it would just be above that high. Not a crazy ask there. This is also an inversion fair value gap that we, yeah. Yeah, this has to go to break even at this point, only because I don't like how we're chopping around. I could take partials for sure. I'd just like to see that high get taken. Fair enough. And then it's gonna go. No, that's why you gotta manage your trade, right? Broke even, so. And clearly, I mean, choppy price action, like I said, right? I thought my target was fairly conservative there. You know, I definitely could have taken some partials off when we got above this high, looking back, but hey, you know, I managed it well enough where we didn't lose, so it's good enough for me. What was this? Oh, there's a, okay, well, you know, I'm not going to say I'm not trading a day when Powell speaks, it's just, you know, but that's why we had that candle here. All right. Now we really got a decent reaction off of that. I mean, see, everything still aligns with what I was saying before. Higher time frame PD array, sweep. Bullish bias. So I'm willing to see this through again if it gives us what we need. This is the nearest fair value gap. Have to accommodate for even this fair value gap, so it's got to go under the low. Targeting this high again. Can we see that through this time? 1 to 1.2, you know, something not too crazy. Notice the time. We are trading a bit later in the day than, or the afternoon, or a bit later in the morning than I'd like. But 11 a.m. is not out of the question. Still chopping around. Cool. All right. So the only thing I'll say here, okay, is if I'm in this live, okay, I'm not liking this. Well, I'm sorry. Where does it? Okay, this is where it taps us in. So I'm not necessarily liking this choppiness after. That's all. You might see me in a live account. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's go to 5 minute. I want to see, like, so this is again where we got tapped in. 1, 2, 3. It's tough. Like, the 1 minute, ideally it moves right after it enters into your POI there, right? After the displacement. So, but even so, it's a solid trade. I just ideally doesn't chop around your entry for that long. So if I am on a live account, you might see me break even. You know, take whatever little profit I have before it potentially hits my stop loss. My stop loss was conservative enough here where I might have been okay with letting it chop around, honestly. I had a wide enough stop loss. Every trade is different, right? If my stop loss was tighter, I might not have felt as comfortable to leave this chopping around my entry, but I was accommodating for like a lot where I could have been okay, so, and I was, so just, all right, nice. All right, next day. Another Powell speech. Fuck that guy. And then CPI tomorrow or Wednesday here. So cautious of what we see here because there is heavy news the day after. So 2 targets to the upside, right? We have a previous daily high and a previous weekly high. Go to the 4 hour, bit choppy for my liking, especially right before our CPI. I wouldn't really want to entertain this too much. Just looking at the 4 hour, we'll see if something changed my mind when I go lower, but yeah, this is not like high probability price action here. It's not easy to read. We're chopping around, and we got news tomorrow. I'm gonna leave this be. Right, you gotta know when to not trade. This is one of those days. Powell spoke and you fucked everyone, so there you go. I actually didn't think it was gonna move that volatile today. I think CPI is going to be green at this point because, yeah, it's gonna be green. I doubt today we come back to take these highs. I think they're left for tomorrow for CPI, but we'll see what price does. This is the dealing range. We are trading inside of a higher time frame PD array on both the hourly and the 4 hour. We got our sweep. There is a model here. It's just we'll see. Not sure how much I can appreciate that distribution to the upside with how quickly we fell. I'd need to see some I mean, come on. Show me a convincing candle to the upside here. Okay, that's fairly convincing there. I like that. Problem is, what am I targeting, you know? This whole thing is a... like the only thing I could target is the equilibrium of this fair value gap. Okay, didn't actually leave much of a fair value gap for me here, so that kind of makes my life easier. Okay. Ooh. There's something... Nah. I mean, sure, the 1 hour presented that, but... break structure again. Nah, I'll leave this alone. Ah, distribution you say, but 11:45 you say. Fuck. No, I'm not going to take this, but if you want to be crazy with your risk reward, I would never do this. Okay, good thing we didn't do it. Alright, next session open, we'll entertain it. Nah, this is ugly. Alright, next day open. Oh, fair enough. CPI didn't want to come for those eyes, so we're creating a bit of a retracement here on the higher time frame. Fair enough. Okay. So we still have our weekly target. Previous daily high remains the same. We haven't broken any order flow here or any structure, right? We're inside a higher time frame PD array on the daily. Okay, so still bullish on the higher time frame. Instead of a massive PD array on the massive fair value gap on the 4 hour. Swept. See it clear on the 1 hour. Actually, I don't like it as much as the 1 hour. Okay. Okay. I just don't like this. Like, what is, like, this is disgusting looking. And then I just wish they were cleaner. I wish those highs were cleaner there. I don't know. A plus setup. This actually would have been pretty good here. Well, never mind. Not if you're targeting that. I mean, could we target something a bit higher? Equilibrium of this fair value gap here, maybe. Still not a 1-to-1, but okay. Swing trade. Seeing if it plays out or not. Okay. It's showing, like, it's just showing some heavy bearishness now where I don't really want to entertain bullishness at this point, like, but I am still bullish on the higher time frame, so it just makes it a little bit difficult for me. I'm not going to lie. Okay. Didn't mean to do that. All right. Sweep. Nah, I don't like anything here. I think we honestly probably just continue lower. Okay. Respecting the daily fair value gap still, which is nice to see. We haven't disrespected any order flow or broken any structure on the daily. Still bullish on the weekly, still bullish on the daily. All right. Swap some liquidity on the 4 hour. Almost respected the 4 hour fair value gap. I don't know where my model is here though. Okay, we got a sweep. Fair. Trading into 1 hour fair value gap here. Target is in question, but there's something to this. Target would just be here. Nice. Perk structure. Do I love the equal lows here? No. Accommodate for that. And we are targeting up until here. Alright, definitely taking partials at this point. Broke above here. 50 or I don't know. Obviously, this is different, right? We have 7 contracts essentially. I would probably take off 4, maybe 5. Here we go. That's fine because it's break even, by the way. Okay, there we go. Good thing I took my partials, right? Not bad. I mean, was hoping for a little bit better of follow through there after we took partials, but took majority of the trade-offs. That's good. Still bullish. Still bullish. Have we broken any structure? Have we disrespected this fair value gap? No. Still bullish on both my higher time frames. So we are looking for bullish trades. It is a Friday. We have nothing crazy news-wise. Again, looking to continue higher here. We're not inside of a higher time frame PD array on the 4 hour or the 1 hour. I don't like this. Okay. If I'm looking to go higher, I don't want to see like smooth lows like that. But yeah, nothing so far. If we get a nice sweep into okay, there's no higher time frame PD array. Of course, low liquidity itself is a PD array. So if we take like an hourly set of lows and sweep that, there's something to be said about that being our PD array. I typically like to see us trade into a fair value gap as our PD array though, on the higher time frame. Okay. This is our dealing range here. So if we want it to be conservative, however, there are some pretty nice equal highs above. But if we want it to be conservative, we target that. What I'm looking to see is just how good this sweep was. Would I give this an A+ setup? An A+ rating? As much as I want to take this trade, I wouldn't. I wouldn't give it an A+ rating. Okay. Maybe if we came and swept came down, swept liquidity a bit further. But without doing that, and I don't have a PD array that we're trading inside of, there's no hourly fair value gap, there's no 4-hour fair value gap, it makes it difficult. I do think it's very probable still that we go higher from where we are now. But I don't like how we left that. Again, I'd be okay had we left that and we were trading inside. You got to give me something to work with, all right? And aside from the model itself and the bias, I don't have... Yeah, it's just... No, I'm okay. Let's see how it plays, though. I am shooting for something conservative, which is something to, you know, keep in mind. But, yeah, I just... Yeah. Okay, good. Now we took it. Now we took it. Okay. Makes it a little bit more reasonable for me. Break a structure. I want to make a target. We could target as high as this. Well, this actually hasn't formed yet fully still, which is... So I can't really target that. I'll leave this be. I'll leave it be. It would have hit. Do I... I'll tell you what. Okay, here's my reasoning, okay, behind why I didn't take this trade. And maybe I was being a bit too harsh. Okay. I think I'm going to throw this in there as a trade. My reasoning is because, and I still could have targeted a 1-to-1. It would have been like a perfect 1-to-1. But this equilibrium of this fair value gap isn't a true equilibrium yet because this candle hasn't closed. So I don't know how high this candle is going to close and what this fair value gap is going to look like. So what I will do though is this is still here we'll go above this high. Fine for my trading plan, a 1-to-1. So this would have been the more risky stop loss placement under the fair value gap below. Fair enough. I'm not willing to do that, so yeah. And truthfully, this can continue. And it does. Wow. That's why leaving a runner sometimes, man, it's worth it. And this is one of those scenarios where it's fair to say we could leave a runner. I mean, these highs above are definitely a magnet. Right, you get in here for this, but then just leave one runner for this high. Fuck it, you know? I want to see how much of a difference that would make. So, for instance, right, I made 2.6 off that trade. Let's go back in time. I'm going to take 75 or maybe even more off. Yeah, proceed. Okay, so this is our main target, the same target we had before. Right, equilibrium of the dealing range right there. But I want to keep some, or keep one for up here. This is that final target. So what I'm going to do is place this order. Boom. Okay, we take close position, we take 70, there's 5 contracts. Alright, to make this realistic, right? because there's no half contracts. So we'll leave one contract on. One contract on as a runner. So remember, the last trade was 2.6. So I want to see how much a runner, leaving just a runner, and this is an ideal environment to leave a runner because realistically this is a magnet. How much of a difference that would make. Alright, so you get an extra, like, close to an extra 300. I mean, it's nothing crazy. But, hey, fucking $300, fair enough, right? Leave one contract as a runner, it's not terrible. Okay. Next day open. I mean, we really could have let it run, but no, I like that. I mean, you could have, this would have been okay too. This would have been a little crazy in my opinion, and then this is just ridiculous, so. Right. Alright, still bullish, right? Still bullish. Plain and simple. This is our current trading range right here. 1 hour. Hoping to be able to trade inside of a higher time frame PD array here. I would need to come and sweep these lows realistically for me to want to enter a trade. Okay, sweep. And this is a higher time frame PD array technically, right? Because we have 1 hour equal lows there that are getting swept. So again, the liquidity is a PD array. We don't have a break of structure here yet though. Okay. We tapped into the fair. Okay. Dealing range. Getting a little later in the AM session here. Going to give me something soon. So this is 56 is your last close. So there's clearly nothing there. Just give me some distribution before it's too late. No. Alright. Oh, you gotta be shitting me. 11:35 it gives me this? Under here. Yeah, I don't mind just shooting for that. Fair play, fair play. Didn't break my rules here. Ideally, we get in a little bit earlier than where we got in, but that's what it gave me to work with. 11:35, not noon yet. I could still enter. Again, though, not ideal. Shooting for before 11, ideally, would be where we're looking to get in. But all right. So we are in a discount of this trading range in the 4 hour. We are in a 4 hour fair value gap. So there's many things working here for us. Can there be a re-entry during the PM session here? Let's see. This is the dealing range now. Let's go to the 15 minute. I gotta wait. Come on, what is that? When does this candle close? Okay. This is something I would consider. Yeah, it is. It definitely is. The sweep again is occurring on a higher time frame, but then we do have this sweep as well in the 15 minute. Yeah, I like this. This is something that I would be fine taking a loss on if that's what it came to. Not ideal, the way price is moving. Only way I'd manage that is break even. I wouldn't take partials on. I mean, it depends. Like if you get up to like 1.1 to 1.8 risk reward, you might entertain some partials. It's just the lower risk reward you get, the easier it is to hit that final TP. I'd probably just put a break even. That's what it is. So cool. Made back the loss and then some on the day. So that's good. All right. Let's see, can it make it all the way up to there? It can, so could have definitely targeted that, but that's fine. What I targeted, I'm fine with that. We actually did target this as well. Okay. Go to next day open. All right. Let's just look at the weekly candle here. That's fine, I'll keep both those there. All right. You know what? What I'm going to do here is we're reaching the hour mark. I'm going to just go over how the first half of this month has looked. The next half is a little bit slower, just because we're heading into Thanksgiving in the next week here. I know I said I was going to get through the full month of November here, but again, those last 2 weeks of November are a little bit, or they can be a little bit choppier just because of Thanksgiving. So I got through half the month here. And let's just kind of go through the model here, see how we did for the month so far, or 2 weeks into the month. Alright, so up 4% on the month, which is pretty good, right? We'll take that. That's, you know, not too shabby, right? 13,000 on the month so far. 2 weeks into the month. It's a good month so far. So, yeah, this is, an account where you have 250. Yeah, I think I started this account with 250. You have 250 in the bank to trade with, and you could be consistently profitable like this. You can quit your day job. This is an account size where you can definitely quit your day job on. If you can average, 10K a month, you're sitting pretty, right? So that's essentially what we're doing here. So, yeah.